smoking more accepted than in the music industry. My next guest is the lead singer for the hit band Skid Row. He says there's nothing wrong with a little bit of pot after a hard day's work. Sometimes it can even put you in the mood for love. Please welcome from Skid Row, Sebastian Bach and his wife Maria. Thank you, Maria, also for being here. What do you want to say to these guys?
Well, first of all, I want to say that God forbid that these guys over here were drinking a bottle of whiskey all day or doing cocaine, because if they were doing that as much as they were smoking herb, they would not be sitting here at this moment right now. But I think basically that the problem is that I was hearing backstage. Well, there was two major ones. One is that it seems to be the excess of the usage of the marijuana that is messing these guys' lives up. I have a rule. I'm a singer in a rock band, and I had a rule when I started out that if I was singing or I had something to do that was important to me, I would not do anything, drink beer, smoke dope, nothing, because my job is too important to what, you know, I am. It's much more important than marijuana is, you know.
Mm-hmm. But what if your wife told you that she didn't approve of your pot smoking and told you to quit? Would you choose your wife over the pot?
You see, I think the reason that people might want to do that is because guys like this saying that he blows marijuana smoke into a baby's face, what a meathead thing to say, man. Dude, come on, get a grip, man. I mean, that is... I have a son who's 6 years old, who is the most important thing in the whole world to me. And wait. If I ever heard of a babysitter doing that, no matter how much pot I smoke, I'd bust your ass, buddy. Look at pot. Pot is not anything half as important as, like, kids and your job and your life.
And your woman.
Smoking herb.
And your woman. Exactly.
Yeah, but listen to me. You said that you guys both said that you drink. You guys both said that you drink. The fact is that alcohol kills 495,000 people a year. Tobacco kills 100,000, and then marijuana has never killed anybody in 2,000 years of recorded medical science.
We're talking about, hang on, Edna, 1 second, I wanted to say something. I mean, the way these guys are talking, it seems like they're smoking 10 joints a day. If you were to have 10 beers a day on a regular basis every single day, right?
See, I can understand that, but see, the thing is that, fine, I stopped drinking way before I was pregnant. Because he told me that he didn't like it, and I did it for him. You know why? Because my relationship with him means much more to me than a bottle of alcohol. So I expect that you say you love me, that you leave that little bag alone. I don't care what
alcohol
you do. If I don't like it, I don't like it, respect me.
I understand that. I understand.
Wait a minute, but let me ask you something. You say weed doesn't kill, but have any of you ever driven high?
Yes. Your ability to react.
I drive better. My mother calls me Mario Andretti Jr.
I drove my bike.
Oh, please.
Ricki, this is not a debate on alcohol versus bud. It's all about not smoking bud. The way he smokes bud all day and every day, that is unnecessary.
I agree.
He could be doing better things.
I agree.
He could be doing better things.
I gotta say that excess cannot be criminalized, right? He could also be sniffing paint thinner all day, then he'd be dead. You know, I mean, you still have a husband.
He can also mature a little bit and not do anything.
Well, he could do that, but the point is that why the hell should he go out with his friends that's drinking Miller Draft all day,
Why
and other
do you
guys...
have to drink if you go out with them? They're your friends. Enjoy the time. Sanely, I mean, when I go out and I hang out, I bug out, I have fun, that's it. I don't need to get high.
Do you drink?
I don't need to drink.
You never do. You never drink.
I don't drink no more.
She's pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
But hang on. Let me ask Sebastian, where is Sean? Wait. Edna,
I have been with my wife.
I want to talk to your wife. Maria, does it bother you that your husband smokes pot?
No. He smokes in moderation. He doesn't smoke in the house.
But if he was smoking as much as these guys
I would never
are.
do that. I wouldn't do that. My voice and my kids are too important to me, man. I mean, if you got kids, that's like the worst thing you could ever do.
So you're saying that pot is okay, but not
I'm saying
in excess.
if you, Ricki, like to have a beer, say, after you get home from work while you're watching a movie or something, all those beers stored up in your body are hurting you. There was a farce comment on the TV that said that a myth, it's a safe drug, and then it said fact, marijuana has been linked to lung cancer. Keyword linked. The fact is that there has never been in 10,000 years of medical recorded history any lung cancer
but this
from
show,
marijuana.
Sebastian, is not about. Wait a minute. But let me just say, Sebastian, the point. Excuse me. Wait.
100,000 people a year.
Sebastian, wait. Hang on. This is still my show. Hang on. Excuse me. Please respect me. Please, Sebastian.
Ricki, you go, girl.
My point is, Sebastian, that the point of the show is not about whether pot kills or doesn't kill.
Yeah, but not enough people know
let
those
me
points.
finish. I've let you finish. Let me finish.
Right.
The point is that these ladies that are here today are saying that it is killing their relationship.
Okay, I think it's the excess. I don't think it's the pot. I think it's the excess. If these guys went to work all day and were great guys like they look to be,
That's what he
and then they came home. Well, hey, man, he said he was working at Walmart. Who the hell would want to?
All right, next. A man who says pot can be the best thing for a relationship, and a woman who says pot is no way to hold on to your partner. We'll be right back. Smoking pot make a relationship better? My next guest says in some ways yes. He is editor-in-chief of High Times magazine, Steve Hager. Steve says anything in excess can be dangerous, but pot is hardly the worst thing these guys could be doing. Also joining us is Donalda James. Donalda is with the National Association on Drug Abuse Problems. She says she has seen firsthand how pot can be the worst thing in a relationship. What have you seen? Hang on.
First of all, Ricki, I want to say that, okay, yeah, it might not have any effects on you physically, short term. But, I mean, according to a lot of the research that I've seen, it creates an amotivational syndrome, okay? Whereas, excuse me, wait a second. Whereas,
that's your problem. You smoke so much weed, you can't understand what she's saying.
thank you. Whereas, after a while, you're not going to live up.
Please, let me just explain one at a time so we can hear you all. Yes.
You're not going to live up to your potential in life, okay?
Joke.
You're just, what a joke.
I saw 10 million
Let me give you an example. Okay, so maybe you could have sold 20 million records.
But I'm only 26 years old.
Okay. Let me go further. So there are a lot of pot smokers who have a job, right? But daggone it, you could have gone farther. You could go further. You are living in a twilight zone. You are never coming out. Okay? All right? And I see it.
Yes, wait, hang on. Yes.
I'd like to make a comment on the motivation thing.
She's not lying.
Hang on. Wait a minute, everybody. Please, let's respect everybody. Yes.
I think, first of all, motivation, Sebastian Bach has been on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. I think that you come from a family of an artist and have been around pot your whole life.
And I come from a family with a sister who looks kind of like you, right?
No, but maybe he is the exception.
I'm not. Talk to him.
Ricki, can I say something?
Yes, Steve.
Louis Armstrong smoked pot every day of his life and was the greatest trumpet player that ever lived. I think it's immaterial whether or not he would have been a better trumpet player. If this is a free society, then it's free to choose what you want to do. Bob Marley chain smoked marijuana every day of his life and was the greatest reggae superstar of all time. Leave these guys alone.
Hey, and also her comment, maybe I could have sold 20 million records if I didn't smoke pot. Well, maybe Bill Clinton would have become the president of the United States.
Look, the worst thing about marijuana is that it's illegal.
Hang on. We have here in the audience Dr. James P. Morgan. He's with the City University of New York Medical School. Now, what do you want to add to this? Is pot smoking dangerous to your body?
Pot smoking, of course, can be dangerous. There are no drugs that are completely safe. I think I've noticed what everyone else here has noticed, that this seems to be a show about lovers' conflicts, and it could have been about hang gliding or rock piling, and the marijuana issue is secondary to how these people are getting along. Marijuana can be dangerous. Excessively, it has some dangers, the intoxicating effect.
What about blowing smoke into a baby's face? Pot smoke.
I don't think people should blow smoke into a baby's face. My guess is this baby was harmed less by this smoke being blown into his face than he would have been from tobacco smoke. But no, it's not a good idea to give people drugs they don't want to take.
And what about driving on pot?
Nobody should drive while intoxicated. Of course, the drug has an intoxicating effect. On the other hand, the issue here of how much danger it is to people has to do with how they choose to use it. And I agree with Mr. Hager that in a free society, people can make that choice rather than the government.
All right, and with that, we'll be right back after this. Steve, you wanted to say something. Yes, Steve.
We're talking about the dangers of pot. The most dangerous thing about pot is that it's illegal. If I have a 12-year-old, I can send that 12-year-old out and I can say, buy me some pot or buy me a six-pack. He won't come back with a six-pack because he can't do that because that's regulated and controlled, but he can buy the pot. Now, people die. They don't die from marijuana. They get died in a drug shootout because somebody was trying to buy marijuana. That's right. That's how people die from marijuana.
So how you say that it's good for a relationship. How is pot good?
Pot's good for some people. For some people, it's not good. For those who think it's good for them, like Sebastian, he should be allowed to smoke it in a free society.
Also, Ricki, people were saying, how does pot affect your relationship? I would only say, like, in one instance, it has affected my relationship. It made me, like, really horny. Sorry.
I'm really glad I know that about you, Sebastian.
You go, girl.
Yes, what do you want to say?
Yes, I have a comment for Patrice and Charles. Patrice, I understand that you want him to stop, smoking weed every day. But, to limit him, to tell him he shouldn't do it at all, I don't think that's right. Maybe he should do what he wants to do outside of the home, on his own time. But Charles, still.
No,
every
Charles
hour
wouldn't
on
be able
the
to
hour
do
is
it
a
like
bit
that.
much. $50 a day is like $350 a week, which is like $1,400 a month. You could be putting that money to some furniture, to your education, to something other than weed.
Yes, sir.
All right, first of all, to the lady on the end, she says that marijuana don't make people prosper. I know a lady who's been smoking marijuana for 50 years, and she's an accountant.
Okay.
All right, and to Charles, to you, you need to get a new girl who smoke weed and leave her alone. All right?
Quickly.
You're always going to find examples of people who do prosper, but on a whole, I deal with youth. I deal with people all the time. On a whole, you're going to find that they don't.
What's worse? Going to jail for 5 years or smoking a joint?
When it comes to
it's okay
legalizing,
to send the kids to jail, but it's not okay for them.
When it comes to legalizing, the thing about marijuana is that a child starts out with marijuana, but it is the gateway drug.
Beer and cigarettes.
All right. And then by the time you're finished, marijuana today, particularly on the streets, are laced with other things. And then
we gotta take a break. We'll be right back after this. Drugs of any kind should never be more important than the person you love. If you are involved with someone who would rather get high on something other than you, maybe it's time to get professional help, or maybe it's just time to get out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.